Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and welcome to the Sackhoff Show. I am so excited that you are here and I'm just going to get right into the guests because I know that that's what you guys want and you are here for a great one. My friend, my co-star in multiple things, the man who married my husband and I, Michael Trucco. If you don't know who Michael Trucco is, we worked together on Battlestar Galactica. He played Anders. We are working together in the Flanverse coming up in the new version of Carrie on Amazon coming out next year. And he truly is in the Flanverse. He was in Hush. He was in Midnight Mass. He was in The House of Usher. He was in, I'm having to read all of this because there's so much of it, The Life of Chuck. And again, Carrie. He is truly embedded in that family. And it is so nice to be there. Speaking from experience. So I'm just going to get out of your way and let you get to know my TV husband a little bit better, Michael Trucco. I'm so happy that you're here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, second time. I think it's funny because the first time I did this, I think hearts were broken because people couldn't see your face and they wanted to admire you for an hour and a half instead of just hear you.
We just did the audio version of that. Is that correct?
We did. There was a while where I would fly down to Los Angeles with like a backpack on my back, like a child, and like ring people's doorbells. I remember showing up at Joel McHale's house and being like,
Hi,
I'm here to do our podcast. And he's like, right this way. I'm like, okay.
But did you shoot it? Did you?
No, it was just audio only.
It was just audio. Okay.
Just audio. And like
so
Joel's become like a friend
podcast?
now.
So what happens? Is there just a title card or what?
No, yeah, that's what we did on the podcast. So the YouTube would just sort of like disappeared and just became like title card. And then but we built up an audio only audience. So we've got like 7,000 people over that still only just listen. So hi to all those people. Shout out to you because you're awesome.
Are, and so you're actually seeing us, and
so now you're seeing Michael's pretty face.
And, well,
there you go.
Here's Michael's pretty face.
Is that really Anders?
Yeah, well, it looks more like Joe Flanagan from Stargate, but I think they just popped his head on my. Look, wait. It's got,
like, no offense, your arms are not that big.
What are you talking about, Katie? This is anatomically correct, okay? I did a 4.5 hour laser point set. Yeah, duh. Everybody knows I got that ass.
Your ass has never been.
Come on, this is 100%. This was done from a laser. Yes, this is completely correct. Even they couldn't find a tattoo big enough for my gigantic forearm or bicep, whatever the hell that is. So I just
learned from Paul Sun-Young Lee that a lot of times that is what they do, where they will literally take like the arms of one character, the legs of another character, the body and the head, and they put them together to create new characters. Like, it won't be a whole new mold.
No, this is a WWE wrestler for sure. And they're like, well, we got a ton of that guy that kind of dropped out in 1998.
Yeah, exactly. So and because I said my Battlestar character looked like a dude, and he was like, he might have been.
That head, nope. That face, I don't think so. But if you all know Joe Flanagan, it looks a lot more like him than me.
That face?
I'm pretty sure that they're like, well, we got a bunch of these Flanagan dolls, so.
I don't even know what the face is.
I don't either, because look at.
Clearly not you.
I mean, come on.
I also, he's got his trigger hand going. I was like, why is it open?
Yeah.
Like he's.
Oh, yeah, no, because you can do this.
Just pleasured himself.
Yeah, it's a little, it depends on how.
Anatomically.
Because a lot of people shoot like this. Hey, stop.
Wait, that reminds me. Do you remember?
Look, it's totally me.
It was one of the scenes with Tomo down on the planet when our military advisor had to come over to Tomo at one point and go, so, we're going to need you to stop saying pew, 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 pew. Every time you shoot the gun, we can hear you.
We have that sound. It comes from the gun. But thank you.
When he was like,
listen, that's really fucking hard to not do.
It is so hard to not do.
Yeah, because you're trying to you're trying to establish this is when I'll shoot. Bang, 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 bang. And then they're like, great, that's good. Just don't do that when we roll.
But he was doing it when we were rolling.
I know.
And everyone was dying laughing.
That's back in the days when we were still using quarter loads or half loads. And we shot a lot on that show.
We shot a lot on that show.
We fired a lot of weapons on that show. I remember that.
We fired a lot of weapons on that show. And big weapons. There is a picture of me and Grace and, is it you? No, it's Tomo. Me and Grace and Tomo all holding 3 of the largest weapons known to man. And posing with them, which you could never do on movie sets these days.
No, they
would never be like, hey, Katee, will you go pick up that saw over there?
Grab that 50 caliber Rambo gun and wrap the bullets around your forearm.
Do you guys want to do a photo shoot?
Stand over here.
Is that thing live? Against that wall.
I don't think so. You don't think so? Okay, that's good enough for me. I don't think
so. We'll find out. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just look inside of it.
Right.
Just don't pull the trigger. We'll be fine.
No.
You don't do that shit anymore.
No, we don't do that.
Clear reasons.
Well, for obvious reasons, sure.
Clear
But I
reasons.
will say, that being said, our protocols were second to none on that show.
Because we had military
every show
there.
I've done. And we had fantastic armors, and there was never a situation where a weapon was just handed willy-nilly between everybody without going down the litany. Everybody checked it every time. We've been doing that for years, always have, and I've never been on production that hasn't done that. So
I have never been on a production where the armorer wasn't like just on top of their shit.
Same.
Like, because it is a real weapon. Like it is, it needs to be treated with respect. It's not something you just throw on a cart and like push around. It's like, you treat them like they're real weapons.
It's not a prop. It's an entirely, and that's the thing is, when we hear about these incidents in the news, you hear about the Alec following, that's the exception, not the rule. That's why it's so dramatic when it does happen, because think about everything that is being shot every single day of the year somewhere on this globe. There was something in production 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yeah. And I would say better than 50 to 75% of them are probably involved some weapons. I mean, everything in drama has something with gunplay.
Yes.
There are guns all the time. It is extraordinarily safe. Yeah. I just always want people to know that is not just hey, throw me that gun, let's do this scene. The protocols on everything that I've ever been a part of have been second to none. They're the amount of redundancy from the armorer to the first AD to the director to the actor to the second AD. Everybody that's standing there in line all looks at it. And not to mention the fact that you and I as actors, I always check the gun. Even watching it go into my hand, I'll still open it, rack it, point to the ground, pull the trigger, know that it's completely dead.
And I both, though, have gun experience.
Well, that's true.
We're not walking onto a set without previous gun knowledge and gun training.
And healthy respect for them, yes. Exactly.
Yeah, and I do believe that is something that needs to be taken into consideration when it comes to actors, because a lot of times, someone will step onto set that's never handled a gun before, and it's not a prop, but as actors, they don't know any better. Right. Unless someone tells you.
That's right.
You don't know any better. I don't know. Granted, by Battlestar, I knew this, but I don't think I realized that the guns on set were real weapons until somebody told me. And it very well could have been Battlestar, because that was the first job I ever did where like a gun was needed, I think. I just assumed that they were like cap guns or something until someone told me that, no, these are real weapons. I was like, oh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. No, we were using real MP5s and real SIGs and Glocks and, whatever we were handed. Those were the real deal. It was just the ammunition was dummy ammunition. But.
And we've heard of it, two times? 2 times where it's gone horribly wrong in our country that we can think of that has been, when there may be more than that, but 2 that we're aware of, which is the situation on Rust and then also Brandon Lee.
And there was in the mid-'80s a soap opera actor, but this is going to your point, who had absolutely zero understanding of weapons and was joking on offset with a gun that had blank.
Oh, I remember
and put it to his head as a joke.
Yes, and fired
There was no bullet, but there's still there's
fragments.
enough gas and fragment and wad, they call the wad, and the explosive, the air pressure at the temple was enough to cause brain damage. And that's my point, is that those are so high profile because they are so rare.
Yeah.
And that's not to minimize those events, but if you compare that with the extraordinary amount of, in the millions of times that people that have weapons on set and are safe, because there are protocols in place that do protect everyone, and they are strictly adhered to. I've never been on a set where anybody was fucking around with a gun jokingly.
No.
It's just not been in my experience. That's why I couldn't believe when I hear these stories. I've never been on a job
where I've been able to walk off the set with a real weapon and go do something. Like, you're chased into the parking lot on your way to your trailer from, the props person going, "Your gun!" Yeah. I mean, and that was before. That was, that's always existed.
I think that bears repeating. And that's why I've always wanted to tell people that, the problem is that these stories they start ruminating, and everybody's like, oh my God, this is the way, it's so unsafe. And then we have these massive changes. And it's a little unfortunate, because there is something about performance with a weapon when you're shooting a quarter load or a half load. It really does. It enhances, so you don't have what we're getting back to, the tunnel, pew, pew, pew. You don't feel the need to put in the sound, because there's a certain realism to it. And
so that being said, and I'm going to try and figure out what I can say and what I can't say. Working with Mike Flanagan.
Yes.
There are no real guns on set anymore.
Yeah. True.
And so I was talking with them, because I was, of the mindset of, oh man, seriously, no real weapons anymore? Like, that's, I understand what people are trying to do. And I was sort of like, had this opinion of like, oh, it can't possibly, the weight, the kickback, it can't possibly look real. And they showed me. It's absolutely 100% feels real, looks real, has a kickback, and it's an air gun.
Yes. Yeah. They use them on the Rookie.
Yeah, it's got CO2 in it, right?
Exactly.
It's amazing. I was surprised by it, actually, how real it felt.
Yeah, we used them on Average Joe in Cape Town this year.
So it's just a normal thing now.
Yeah, it's in our armor. Same thing. We still have a weapons armor, but it's a CO2. It's a cartridge, and just he shows it. He puts his hand right in front of it. Pop, pop. It's just a blast of air. They have the weight, though, and they're working parts. When I was working on the Citadel in London, they had something I'd never seen before. It was still an airsoft. They're called airsoft, but it actually ejected a shell. They had these special bullets that were designed for a semi-automatic pistol, as you're firing the gun and the slide goes back, it ejects rounds, and that looks awesome.
Whoa, that's
but
so
no
cool.
loud. There's no gunpowder. It's all done with just compressed air, but it goes pop, 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 and these things come flying out. I was like, that kind of stuff, that really helps.
That's the attention to detail, though, that everybody puts into their job, so you don't want it to stop at the weapons.
Right.
Yeah, I've heard,
and it's just increased safety even tenfold. So
of course, because do you remember? Have you ever had a hot round go down your shirt?
Oh. Several on Battlestar. Yeah. That's one of the stories, because I was wearing this most of the time, and that was on that planet. Jamie and I are firing those MP5s fully auto, and these things. I'm a lefty too, so when I hold a gun like this, they eject right across my face. You guys are firing this. Exactly, and these shells are hitting this embankment that I'm up against like this, and they're rolling back down, and they're just sitting on the flesh of my back of my arm. Yeah, and I thought I was leaning against a mountain of red fire ants. Like, I thought I disturbed a fire ant nest when I was sitting here. We're doing this scene and we're firing. And I was like, holy crap, that's Jesus, something is. And there was hot rounds just singeing into the back of my arm. Yeah.
I had one get stuck in my my PDUs. I was like,
no, you didn't.
Yeah. And of course you don't break character, but you're like, I'm trying to shimmy myself to get the round to fall down. So it's not tucked into my belt and oh my God.
Did it go down?
I don't remember. I know that it got stuck down the small of my back, and sat right on my hip. So I think it went down. Yeah. That's fun. Not fun. Not fun. No. You bring up Average Joe, and I do. I want to, because that show is, do you guys know if you're going to get a third season yet?
We don't know. We go to air in January, I believe, for second season.
Okay.
I don't know. That's something. There's been a lot of shakeup, and we're part of the Paramount family at BET Plus, and there's been a lot of internal regime change, I should say, at Paramount. So you never know who or what could be a casualty of those kinds of situations.
Yeah, they really have that thing, right? When a new boss comes in, they don't want, any holdovers from the old regime sort of sitting there. And a lot of times a show could be really great and it sort of ends up on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But we shot a complete second season, 8 episodes. All in Cape Town, set in Cape Town. We shot Cape Town for Cape Town, South Africa.
What made you take that show?
The script.
Yeah?
Straight up, yeah.
Was it an offer?
It was not. I had to do, it's one of the very few times in my life that I booked a job off of self-tape.
Oh my God, we must have talked about this
before.
We have
talked about it. I know this is
not.
a little inside, and I know that maybe some of this might bore some of your listeners, but that's the new wave of our industry, is that in the old days, we used to go and audition in person, and now, since the pandemic, we do everything on self-tape. And there are pros and cons to that, because you control the product when you self-tape. You do a setup at home, and you have a light just like this one, and you have your reader, and fortunately, my wife is an actress, so, I have somebody good to read with, but I also do it with some of my other friends. We help put each other on tape. And I remember reading it and just having that moment. I read a quote that Christopher Reeve years ago, after his Superman days, when he was being interviewed, and there was said something about, when you read something and you can't picture anyone else in the role, then you have to go after it. And meaning that sometimes you read something and go, oh, this is such a great project. This is such a great role. You know who this reminds me of? You know who would be great for this? And if you can think of other people who would be great for it, then maybe it's not yours.
Yeah.
When I read Average Joe...
Well, because you're already telling yourself why you're not going to get it.
You're telling yourself why you're not going to... Exactly. And, that's easy to say. We all do that. You're always going to think of somebody. But sometimes something comes along that speaks to you. And the script for Average Joe, that the material, that character... of Benjamin Tucholsky, Touch, just resonated with me. And I don't know, I felt like I had something to give to it. And I did a whole bunch of research on the filmmakers and and the writers and the producers, and who I always like to know who I'm getting into business with, or potentially getting into business with. And it turns out that Rob Cullen, the creator of Average Joe, I look up and we're just going through, seeing what his background is, looking at his details, and we have the exact same birthday, the day and the year. Not just like we share a birthday, we are born on the exact same day. And I was like, this is meant to be, like looking for that kind of like weird connection. And I remember I did a tape. You just send a tape in, and they responded to it, and then it was all the tests, what we call the network tests, and all that stuff was all done over Zoom. My least favorite format to audition. I hate it so much. I hate that I can see that you have a window, you can see yourself. I hate that there's a delay. You're afraid to step over each other. There's no...
Yeah.
That thing that you get in the room with, and I was with Dion Cole, who is Average Joe. He's the star of Average Joe. He was on the call because they were chemistry testing other people, his co-stars. And so Dion and I were on the line together, and we were kind of riffing with each other because it's a comedy, and I just felt like I was just going horribly. I was like, God, I've just completely sunk this ship. But it turns out that whatever we did, or whatever that thing was, it worked.
This episode is brought to you by OneSkin. You have all heard me talk about it, and you know how much I like this product. They bought an ad, and I tried it, and I really, really liked it. And I have continued to buy it. It's been over a year now. The thing that I noticed the most about OneSkin was just the overall texture change of my skin. It was undeniably smoother. And for me, that was just an awesome, awesome thing. I love that OneSkin is sensitive skin safe. It is completely clean of over 1,500 harsh and irritating ingredients. It's dermatologist tested and has been awarded the National Eczema Association Seal of Acceptance. That is absolutely fantastic. At the helm of this iconic skincare brand is their
founding all-women team of longevity scientists with PhDs, which I love. At the core is their patented OS1 peptide. This is the first ingredient proven to target senescent cells, which is the root cause of wrinkles, crepiness, and loss of elasticity. And as we get older, all of those things are a huge issue. OneSkin just launched their limited holiday edition sets, including their nightly rewind gift set. So just give the gift of luxury this year and go ahead and try OneSkin. And also, FYI, right now, I'm obsessed with the lip mask, so go try that. For a limited time, try OneSkin for 15% off using code Sackhoff at oneskin.co. Sackhoff, after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard of them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Happy holidays.
Hey everyone, if you haven't subscribed to our show, make sure you do that right now. You hit that button. It is the only way to get alerts and know what's coming and what's up. Back to the episode. So it brings us to like the Flanagan thing, because I know I'm so grateful to be back in that world.
You started it.
But it's sort of like, you know, what is it about him and working with him? Because I have my own answers, but like, what is it about working with Mike and that team? Finney,
so
the whole crew.
You kind of started what I look as this is like sort of the Flanagan era of my career, of my life.
I call it the Flanverse.
It is. Well, he calls it. It's the Flanverse.
Is that what he calls it?
Yo, for sure.
So I didn't come up with it. I stole it from him.
Yeah, no, you heard it. Yeah, because he calls it the Flanverse. We're all the Flana-fam. The Flana family.
Flana-fam.
When you go to his house and watch movies, he has the Flanaplex. He has a big, huge, he has like a 200-inch, he has a movie screen, of course.
Of course he does. I've been to his house. When I interviewed him for the podcast, now I have not been to their new home, but the house in California, it's a movie theater. That's where I interviewed him the first time.
Yeah, he even at one point, he's like, should we call like the family the Flavengers? And we're like, no, that's a bad.
Yes.
Flavengers, assemble. We're like, not terrible.
We get uniforms.
But with Mike, so you started it because you were Oculus, I believe.
Yeah.
Was the first time that I became aware of Mike Flanagan.
Karen, Gillen, who's worked with him again. Annalise Basso has worked with him again.
That's right. And I came onto the scene for that little film called Hush. And it turns out, so that was an offer. That was an approach by them to my team. That wasn't an audition.
Because they're such huge Battlestar fans.
And that's what it came down to. Yeah, it was Mike and Trevor at the time were, and still are to this day, big, huge fans. But that was something that they were, as filmmakers themselves, and they were looking to the stuff that inspires them, and that makes sense. And we all have it. We all do it. It's cyclical. They're in the business. Just doesn't mean that they don't watch other things. And Battlestar really made a huge impression on Mike, and it was kind of his mission. He wanted to kind of go through the cast, and he just wanted to. He knew that at some point when he was in the position to be able to offer to go out to different talent, that he could be taken seriously, and so he was making these films, and around the time Hush came, he had not dabbled in television yet, but it was by the recommendation of both my agent and my manager that says, I don't know if you know or if you're familiar with Mike Flanagan, so I did a bunch of research, but they said, we think this is something you should strongly consider. It's not a huge role. It's not a big movie. It's a very low budget, small shoot, one set, one location. It's in Alabama. But we think that Mike Flanagan is in the industry, was one of those like ones to watch. You know how they do those things in the trades, and ones to keep people to keep an eye on, hot new talent under 40 or whatever the case was. And Mike fit into that category because people were watching, they were taking note of movies like Oculus. And I read that script, and it was just, it was such another level, Katee. It was such like when we get a lot of scripts, we read a lot of stuff. And I just was like, the narrative, the storytelling. But it wasn't until I met him, I agreed, obviously, so long story short, I agreed to do the role, clearly, and I met him for the first time, and it was Mike himself that's the game changer for me. I couldn't believe what he was capable of. I asked to see a picture of the girl that played my girlfriend, who is now, I didn't know at that time, is Samantha Sloyan, and now Samantha Sloyan is a dear friend of mine, and she's part of the Flaniverse, huge part of it.
Yeah.
And she and I had these small roles. And he goes, oh, I'll do you one better. I won't show you a picture. I'll show you a scene that we shot, Kate and Sam shot. And I was like, okay, yesterday. Oh, that's fast. And he brings out his laptop. And I think I'm going to watch dailies, the one side. You go watch this angle or you watch this angle.
Yeah.
Nope. He shows me a scene with music, temp tracks. It's edited.
Yeah.
The cameras are moving. The sound is good. I was like, what, did you already make this movie? He was like, I don't understand. What am I watching? You shot this yesterday? How did you do that? You just shot that and you assembled this. And so I knew at that level, I was working with somebody who was just on an elevated level of genius and never sleeps. The man's a vampire. I don't understand.
I know. I didn't know that Sam and Kate also go way back.
Yeah. That's how Sam kind of got into the fold. They're good friends from way back in the day. And Kate's like, you need to put my friend in something. And Mike's like, okay, sure. Here's a little thing. And then, she's pretty good. I'll do it again. And then Haunting the Hill House. Oh, great. And then Midnight Mass comes along and everybody's like, oh my God. And then Usher and now Carrie.
Haunting or
yes.
Midnight Mass, excuse me, felt to me like different.
Yeah. Well, Haunting of Hill House is where that's when Mike Flanagan came on the scene.
Yes.
In a big public way.
Midnight Mass to me felt like it was coming from, like it was therapeutic.
Yeah. Well, it's deeply personal too. And it's the first thing that's solely that's his creation from start to finish versus, Hill House is IP, it's a book. And so you're adapting something and you're taking a great story. And it doesn't mean that wasn't Mike's own interpretation, but Midnight Mass was the first thing that Mike put up that was completely his in television. I mean, he's done, original film.
Yeah.
But at that point he had done both Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor were both based on IP.
Yeah.
And if you want to know, this is a little Easter egg, a lot of people have figured it out, but in Hush, Kate's character is an author and she's writing a book called Midnight Mass.
Stop it.
Yeah, and that scene that he showed me between Sam and Kate is the two characters discussing the book Midnight Mass. Talking about Riley and talking about the characters in Midnight Mass in the book.
So weird.
Yeah, and I think the book
was
Midnight Mass
he already writing?
Midnight
Mass?
Midnight Mass has been in Mike's wheelhouse. I mean, not wheelhouse. It's been in his stable for years. And that's the thing. He was always waiting to get it made. He's always hoping he had the opportunity to get it made. And then after a couple of huge hits like Hill House and Bly Manor, they said, what else you got? And he goes, well, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. It is interesting to talk to him because I feel like he's got a million stories at all times in his head. Definitely. And he doesn't sleep.
He can't. I don't understand.
No.
He does, no. It's extraordinary. But anyway, I cut you off because you were saying you're back, come talk about that full circle now in Carrie.
Yeah.
And that all just, by the way, just brings me, great joy and delight. And the fact that, Mary was in Usher, Mary McDonnell, and now Tomo's in Carrie with you and me. And even though I don't think the three of us ever cross paths.
We have no scenes, which would be really weird.
I know. Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Do you think it would be weird?
If we had scenes?
Yeah.
No.
Have you worked with anyone from Battlestar since?
No. Mary and I both appear in Usher, but we never see each other in Usher.
I don't work with Tomo, I don't know if it would be weird or not.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
Because I don't think I have.
Oh, I worked with Trisha, a couple times.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Was it weird?
Yeah. No.
So there you go.
No. I worked with her on Killer Women.
That's right.
Very shortly on something called Big Shot for Disney. She played my wife on that. I feel like we did something else. I feel like I've worked with Trisha 2 or 3 times.
You guys must also get put together a lot because you're when people imagine a couple, they're of similar heights,
Yeah, that's true. We do.
Because you're over 6 feet tall, she's 5'11", 6 feet. So it's sort of they're oh, they look good together on. I buy that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
A funny story is Trish and I did that show, Killer Women, and it was an ABC show, and we did the pilot, and then it got picked up. And so you go to the upfronts, and you go to these, publicity events.
Yes.
And one of them was at Disney Studios, where ABC, they launch all their shows, and they invite all the foreign press and all these, it's a big kind of dignitaries from all over the world. And you stand at your booth, and all the different shows are represented, and they make like a booth with a couch and some end tables and some candles, and then they have the posters of your show, and these people can come by, and they're meant to mingle and interact with, these are foreign buyers, for different ancillary markets, and so it's a little bit of kissing babies and shaking hands. And Trisha and I were there. Representing the show. In that show, I played her brother. Mark Blucas was the actor that played her love interest. But Mark lives in the East Coast, and he wasn't able to be there. And so we are greeting people and talking, and then this lovely gentleman with a British accent comes up, and he's like, love the show. You two, fantastic. Love the chemistry. Something, you guys look really good together. And I'm like, hey, cool. Thanks for, great. And I go, oh, and what's your name? Where are you from? And he's, well, it's the UK. I go, I can tell by the accent. And Trisha is squeezing my hand. We're like standing next to each other. She's grabbing my hand. She's squeezing. I'm like, ow, I'm talking to our friend here. And I go, and so what do you do? And he's like, well, my name's Paul. Paul Lee, the president of ABC. And it was the fucking president of ABC, which I had no idea at the time, is this very sweet British man. And I'm like, oh, hi, where are you from? Talking like, oh, so nice. And I'm going, holy shit. And Trish's like, that's the president. That's the guy who runs the entire network. And he came over to say hi. But then I realized something. I was like, he thinks I'm the other guy.
Yeah.
And I just embarrassed the shit out of myself. So then the next day I called Mark Blucas, and I was like, hey man, good news, bad news. Good news is Paul Lee thinks you and thinks you and Trisha have great chemistry. Bad news is that you made an ass of yourself in front of him because he thinks that was you. So you embarrassed the shit out of yourself, man.
Sorry about it. You might be getting recast.
Yeah, sorry, man, because you completely embarrassed the president. But he thinks you guys have great chemistry together. And I just was like, I knew he thought I was Mark right away because we were the only ones standing there. He figured we're the two, leads in the show. I was like, nope, I play her brother, man.
How do you decide what to say yes to?
Well, that comes back to the average Joe thing. Part of me was thinking, I remember Sandra, my wife, and I talking about, she was like, well, this is for BET Plus, which not BET, which is a huge, that's their linear platform. That's the regular station. This is a streamer version of BET. As if we need one more streamer in this world. It's like everybody's jumping on with their plus. Everybody had a plus, and it's just another $9.99.
And now they're all joining each other and consolidating and becoming, the 4 channels again.
That's right. And this is 3 years ago, whatever. So there was a lot of them out in the market. And we both were hyper aware that this is a very small market and is going to be seen by very few. I think exactly 11 people have watched season 1 on BET Plus. And so that was a consideration that, well, you're going to be doing something that nobody's ever going to watch.
Yeah.
But I was so compelled by the script and the character that I had to say yes. So that was my criteria there. And then I even had that conversation with her. I said, well, what actually is the point of what we do as an actor, as a working actor? Isn't that the point, to be working? And here's an opportunity. There's somebody that, once the job was offered to me, that was like, here's this opportunity to work. And this is what we, have been setting up our whole life to do and to get paid for it and to get to go on set and to experience it. Yeah. Or is it to get to do something, i.e. Walking Dead, The Last of Us, Game of Thrones, where it's just massive, and then that's a game changer.
I've been thinking a lot about gambling lately, and I don't know why.
Good pivot. Okay.
But I've been thinking about it in the context of our industry, that there is an aspect of this business, and I'm so curious if you feel the same, but there is an aspect of this business that to me is when you're high, you're high. When you're low. And when you're low, you're one job away from being high again. So it's this weird gamble of where you're like, in your lowest lows, you're like, I could go get another job. Legitimately, I could and possibly should go get another job. But man, I turned that audition in last week. I did this, I did that. I've got that phone call with that one person. I'm hustling. But it does sort of feel like this addiction thing. Like I can absolutely tie like serotonin and adrenaline rushes to the success and failures in this industry. Do you feel the same way?
100%. And actually, the way your metaphor is actually really accurate, because that is at the base of all addictions, is that little hit of dopamine. It's that serotonin. It's that thing that we crave. And whatever your vice may be, drugs, alcohol, the sex, gambling, nicotine, or acting, or entertainment in general, just the arts, that we chase that high, right?
Yeah.
I was working in kind of all over the place, but we were going to get there. I was working with Carrie, and I had the privilege of working with Heather Graham and Gil Bellows. And I'm standing there on the set, and I'm looking over, and I was like, if somebody would have asked me, without even thinking about it, top 5 films of all time, both Boogie Nights and Shawshank Redemption would be on that list. And I'm in a scene with Gil Bellows from Shawshank Redemption, Heather Graham from Boogie Nights, amongst other things that they've done. But I was fascinated. I want to know, what was it like when they got the call? When did you know you were going to be in Shawshank Redemption? Heather, what was it like when Paul Thomas said, yes.
Oh my God, stop. I love that. What did they say?
Those are their transitory, those are the roles that kind of kick them into another, another atmosphere, another plane.
Like if you could be so, if you feel that they would be comfortable with you sharing that, I would love to know what they each individually said.
I would completely be paraphrasing. But I think the point was that after 20 plus years of doing this, that phone call, that text, that email that comes from our agents, from our managers, from the team, it's oftentimes you get the call and there's an assistant saying, I've got David, Laura, Mel, and Jonathan on the phone. If you got 4 people on the phone, something big's coming down the pipe. Exactly. This is going to be really bad. We're letting you go. We're so sorry we can't represent you. Or, hey, that thing that we've been working towards, it happened. It came through. That offer, that role, that feeling, that dopamine that never goes away. And that is a rush. And to come back to your point, that there is a good metaphor of gambling is good, because when you're down, you're like, just one more roll. I can just go back to the ATM. Let me just go one more time. I can just put 1,000 on red this time. It's got to hit. Look how many times, and you go, it's got to, and it doesn't. And you just go, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I can do it one more time. But that's it. This is it. One more time. And if it does hit, it could change your life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. So I think that's I haven't put it that way before, but as soon as you said it, and you said, do I feel that way? I would say yes, that's exactly right. There is a certain gamble to this.
Yeah.
We all are chasing, talk about the going back full circle to our gambling, and we're all chasing that dragon.
Of course we are.
No pun intended, House of Dragon.
Well, you're chasing it, especially when you've had it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like, Battlestar was it. We were just not... it was just not a time where
we were ahead of our time.
We were ahead of our time.
Yeah. And you had it with Mandalorian. So, you were part of something that everybody was talking about. Mm-hmm. And, you set out, you hope and dream, and that you go, all the ingredients, this should add up to this being a massive hit. And I've had great success. Mike Flanagan's stuff is incredibly critically acclaimed. But nothing really has hit the zeitgeist the way Hill House did, the first one.
Well, Hill House was lightning in a bottle, right? With it was...
Everything about it.
Yeah.
And everything since has been equally good. I think Midnight Mass, and Usher, and...
I loved Midnight Mass and Usher.
I think they're extraordinary, and I'm so proud of them. But did they hit on that level where it was water cooler talk? The Monday after they came out on a Friday, was everybody talking about them? I don't know. Just having done Carrie just now, and I don't know if you've seen, but I was at Mike's house a couple of weeks ago, and he showed us the first 2 episodes.
That's what you said.
Holy crap, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I'm not going to say anything more about it.
I know. I reached out to him right afterwards and said, I hear they're great.
Katee, they're so good. Mm-hmm. Everybody up and down. Mm-hmm. And I mean, not just the acting. I'm talking about everything from the set designs to the music to everything. Just about it. I was like, this. And it's no surprise. I mean, I know what I'm getting into. Mike, makes quality product, but it's really something to be able to see it and reaffirm it and watch, and the hair on my arm stand up. And I got a little emotional watching the first 2 episodes, and I was like, I think this could be a thing. And we just don't know. You know, that's the thing, is you just have no way of knowing. But I'm super proud of it and incredibly blown away by what I saw. And I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's sort of what I keep telling to people, people like in my world, when they're like, so what do you think? And it's like, I don't think anything. Can't think anything. Can't think, you know, what it's going to be. You can't think that it's going to find an audience. You just have to say, I'm happy with what I did. And it's phenomenal people. Mike assembles phenomenal people.
He really does.
Behind the camera, in front of the camera, you know, everyone feels like a family.
Yep.
And you have to take things for what they were. You know?
His passion is infectious. It is just, he brings everybody in on set, includes everyone to know exactly where we are in the story.
Yeah.
What we're about to shoot, what we've already shot, what is yet to be shot, and how that fits into the story. And then people start going, hey, you know, we don't just gather and go, all right, set it up. Let's roll, shoot.
Yeah.
He gives a speech before each scene to say, this is where we are in the story, this is what's happening, and this is what this scene's about. And that just brings everybody together, and you get the best work out of everyone in that situation. And you can't help but be excited.
Even on like a bad day for him.
Yeah.
You know, like when he doesn't feel his best. He still gives you 150%.
No, I don't know if I'm sure he has bad days, but he doesn't show it. And if he does, he doesn't let on.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
He just gives. And that kind of childlike passion, he still is super excited. Like he bounces on the set. He's like, okay, I love this scene. Okay, all right. Yeah. Everybody, so this is what's happening now. This just happened, but before that, this is why that is. And everybody's like, okay, I'm in. And he just has this childlike excitement that you can't help but you get swept up in it. I definitely, as I get older, I think my criteria changes to not suffering fools. I don't want to work with assholes.
No, and I that's one of the things that I ask.
Yeah.
What's the reputation? What are they like on set? Are they a tyrant on set? I don't want to work for tyrants. No,
that's what I love about the Flanagan world and getting to work with my friend Nathan Fillion on The Rookie. I mean, and I'm doing Fire Country, and they're fantastic. Like that vibe on the set of Fire Country and the vibe on The Rookie, man, that's like why I got into this business. Everybody's just having fun. That's what we do.
That's also part of Nathan. It's the number 100%. One on set sets the tone. That's right.
And I often look to him as an example. That's way that I would want to be a number one on a show. And in an instance where I, if and when I get that chance again to be a number one, and I take my cues from the way Nathan Fillion runs his sets and his shows, it's remarkable. The tone that he sets, and that's why I want to be around that. You know?
Yeah. I don't want to be a number one again until my kids are in high school.
Yeah, you don't. Or it has to be a very large ensemble, an equal ensemble where everybody's taking the lion's share.
Or contained enough that it's like, hey, Katee, you're going to be number one on the call sheet, but we're going to bring your entire family.
Right.
And you're going to be in this tiny little town. So you're going to see your kids every day because it's going to be like a family, and you're only going to be there for 3.5 months out of the year. I'd be like, I'll take it.
Exactly. 8 episodes, self-contained, great.
Yeah. I want to ask you some questions from the wonderful patrons that are in my Patreon, because they ask really wonderful questions.
Oh, fantastic.
So Kristen listened to our last interview that we did, and one of the things that she said is you talk about optimism and positivity, and she wanted to know if there's any particular practice that you use to stay optimistic with life.
Wow, that is a really good question. I haven't, and so I don't want to seem like a fraud because I don't meditate every day, but meditation I found extremely helpful to just sort of recalibrate. I worked with this woman called Lisa Thomas.
I work with Lisa.
Yeah, and epigenetics. And understanding, and I mean, it's going down, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but understanding patterns, behavioral patterns and attitudes could be ingrained into your genetic fiber and how to deconstruct those. I self-practice gratitude and optimism on a daily basis, whether that is considered affirmation, manifestation. I mean, I know these words sound, like I'm just giving lip service to sort of this hippy-dippy idea. Yeah, and when I was younger, I used to think that too. I'd see people with those smooth rocks with the word gratitude etched in. And I was like, what about power and strength and winning? And I thought I was like, no, never understood what balance, harmony, never really gave those phrases much thought until I was like, do you actually understand the balance? When things are in balance, when your love and your life and your career, and we're constantly seeking that. And that's what the beauty of it, balance is, that you're always having to whoop a little bit this way, a little bit that way. Harmony. So I don't throw those out lightly. I try to make a concerted effort to recognize the good in everything, and find the hope in everything. And that's easy to say when you feel like things are going good. And it took me, and thankfully Sandra, my wife, who basically kicked my ass into changing my ways when I was in that place. We're talking about the ebbs and flows of our careers and the feasts and the famines. And when I was deep in a famine, she was saying, and I was saying things like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. This is so stupid. They want me to read for this dumb thing. And who can do this? The sides the dialogue is terrible. The show is this is that. I just was looking for excuses for why everything sucked. Yeah. And she's like, that's great, babe. That's fine. And I agree with you. And you don't have to do any of it. You can give it all up. But you know what? Somebody will. And they will read those horrible sides, or they will do that audition. They will turn that tape in, and they'll get that job. So, because somebody will do it. Because somebody will make the concerted effort to do it with a smile on their face, and do it with spirit and with, with energy. And you don't have to, because I'm not here to tell you, that's fine. And it was just that little son of a bitch, she was right. Yeah. And I had to change my attitude when things were not going good before things could go good. It's easy when things are, right now I'm in this great flow. And so I preach it. But man, when things are dark or down, or I just injured myself recently, and you go, why me? Why now? How did this happen? I make a conscious effort to find the positive side of it.
Yeah.
So I work on it every day. I don't even think about it anymore, and nor do I feel like, Jesus, I gotta do this. Life is just, I'm just so tired. No, none of that. So I guess the long answer to that question is that it is, it's sort of a self-discipline. And I think it comes in the form of just an affirmation and a recognition. There's so much heartache out there. The world is in such a strange place, and I am so fortunate. And I can't apologize for that, but I can sure as hell acknowledge it and try to do some good with it.
Yeah.
And if that means that I can project positivity and optimism and hope and love and smiles and just, trying to do some good in the world, because the world's been good to me. Yeah. And then there's a lot of people who it's not, and there's a lot of struggle out there. That movie, The Good Fortune, I just saw, it really speaks to that. And so I'm hyper aware of that. And just, try to take a second every day, lift somebody up, smile.
People ask me all the time, they're like, how did you get through what you got through with Ginny? How did you?
It's a great example.
I don't think I could have done that. And I'm like, yeah, you could have.
Yeah.
And you would have. Because there's no choice. You wake up in the morning and you have a choice. Is this going to destroy me, or am I going to lift up my child today?
Yeah.
And that's it. Those are your choices. And I am so proud that not only did we get through it, and we're still getting through it, but that my marriage is still in one piece.
Yeah,
that
that's right.
Our son is adjusted as well, and that our daughter does not identify with her hardship. That was a conscious decision by us on a daily basis to focus on the positive when life was literally punching us in the face.
That's right.
And it was not easy. I would sometimes go into the closet, close the door, and just cry. But then I would leave, and I would just say, okay, we're still here.
Yeah.
We're still here.
And you earned that cry, though. That's okay. That's just a placement of energy. That's an energy that needs to be released. And you earned that.
Yeah.
You have to. It would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't have that scream or that cry or that question or that anger.
I think a lot of people deny themselves the emotional release because they think strength is the thing. And a lot of times it is the thing that we celebrate in our society.
Of course it is.
Especially with men.
Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. With men, I was just going to say that I was raised the son of a cop. Strength was the only, that was the main symbol of masculinity that I ever saw, and not overtly. My dad's actually incredibly sensitive, but I didn't know that until much later in life. We're not a big emotional family. We didn't talk about our feelings a lot growing up. And
were you guys touchy feely as well? Like, did you guys touch each other and like?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we're huggers, but it was nothing. I've learned to get much more in touch with and less apologetic for my emotions in my way into my adult life. Mm-hmm. It took up, even just as recently as, last 5 years or so, 10 years or so, where I've really started to go, okay, these are valid and stop trying to pretend or trying to always front or always trying to project some image of what you think it needs to be in this moment.
Yeah.
I'm much more aware of emotions and I've tapped into them and I can access them much more than I used to. Sometimes the point where I'm working on a show, doing a scene that doesn't have it, the tone of the scene is nothing emotional at all. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know why. It's just
they're like,
I feel like
Michael,
I'm gonna cry right now.
This is a fucking half-hour comedy, and the audience wants to know why you're crying.
This is a horrible choice, Trucco. I love the accents, but that's a bad choice. So we're going to say no to that. Let's try to make it funny. How about that?
You're here and it's a real valid place and we feel you and like it's we're thinking we're going to need to be a little over
Just
here.
Shut that shit down right now.
Shut the fuck down.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So anyway, go on to another
Nisha
one.
wants to know, Sam T. Anders had many different sides to his character that were explored throughout BSG. What was the most challenging part of playing such a multifaceted character over the course of the show?
Without a shadow of a doubt, the Sylon revelation. Sorry, spoiler alert, but it's been like 15 years. So.
That ship sailed.
By far, leaps and bounds, everything. There was a lot of emotional stuff. I loved all the stuff that your character and I went through. Kara went through. When we were doing that quorum where we were basically sentencing people to death, and Sam had.
I'm like, wait, what?
There was that whole remember. Like there was that in that room, and it was Ryan Robbins' character and it was Gata, and we were like there was all these people deciding the fate of people who we thought were traitors, and this is when before I was revealed as a Sylon, and you came in and you said I want in on this, and it was like we were sucking people out of airlock. We were basically judge, jury, and executioner.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to watch this show.
Yeah. So I remember there was Anders having this moral dilemma, but the revelation, the Sylon revelation was the one that was the most confusing and complex to me, because how in the hell was I supposed to reconcile everything that I had done up on the show to that point? I was the advocate for the resistance, man. I was the resistance. I was there with Colonel, Ty and Tyrrell, and we were, helping people strap themselves with bombs to blow up Cylon recruiting stations. We were the face of the revolution, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And it didn't jibe, and I kept thinking that was a bad choice. That doesn't make any sense. How are we going to make this work? And that really derailed me for a good couple of weeks or months while we were shooting everything past that. I didn't know how to connect everything prior to that, all the work we had done prior to that, and now how do I play this guy? Mm-hmm. So I just leaned into the confusion.
Yeah.
Whereas Hogan and Ty leaned into the anger.
The anger.
And Aaron, playing Tyrrell, the chief, was leaned into that figures. That was the perfect, like, great, fuck my life, I'm a Cylon, and it was so fun to watch. Everybody's different, we brought all that stuff that
fucking Hogan was mad.
Oh, he was mad. Michael was mad. Yeah, and it made Ty was mad, but he was really mad. He was like, this is bullshit.
He was mad. You remember? Didn't he like walk out or something?
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it. Fuck this.
Exactly. And that's what I thought was so beautiful. He played that and he brought it to the work. And all I could do was be like, I don't understand. Oh, okay. So that would be now Anders going, I'm what now? Yeah. And the fear of Starbuck finding out that me dancing that fine line, trying to assess whether or not you knew, are you maybe one? And that was so that was my greatest reward and my greatest challenge, playing Anders.
Love that. Okay. I don't remember the name of the fictional game that you guys played on Battlestar, but
Pyramid.
If it was real, does he think he could still beat you in a game?
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the rules? I have a ball.
Do you?
I do.
Yes. I remember we had a limited number of steps. You had to touch the triangle in the beginning at the start.
Yeah.
You had to move the ball, you had to either bounce it or bounce it off the walls.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember those panels on the walls?
Yes.
So you could advance by ricocheting it. So you get somebody on this side, you fake them out, and they're going to throw this way, then you throw that way.
Yes.
And try to catch it on the other side, but then you have to stop again.
Yeah.
Couldn't just run around willy-nilly with the ball. We had rules.
Yeah, you had to like
certain
touch certain things, and yeah.
And then we had to get it in what was, instead
that
of
little
being
tiny,
this way, that little tiny, it was like being at a carnival.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell could ever, remember we
like
spent
throw a tennis
hours.
ball into a bucket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And could I take you now one-on-one?
No. I mean, I couldn't. You would win.
Like you said,
I
I was like, oh,
right now, though, with your arm, I might win.
Well, I would lead left. But you're right. I have a broken wing here. So.
But you are left-handed, right?
I am left-handed. Yeah, I had to. Yeah. I don't want to give anything away, but I had to use this on the set, and I had to lead with my left.
Was it excruciating?
No, it wasn't. It's the strangest thing. It's not that for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about. I tore my right bicep muscle. The tendon detached, and it's called the distal bicep tendon, and I tore it. It's horrible to see it because it kind
sounds
of
gross.
Your muscle just sort of balls up here at the top like a Venetian blind, but it's not necessarily terribly painful. And so I worked. This happened on the 5th of October, and I worked for the next 2 or 3 weeks without surgery. I didn't get the surgery until the 24th of October.
I remember talking to our agent. And he told me, he was like, hey, I think you should call him. He's in pain. Or he's like having, it sucks. He's got to have surgery. And I was like, what?
It was just a bad
I had no
time.
idea.
Yeah, I was between 2 shows. We were working 2 shows simultaneously, and then we had to just kind of work around it. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, we got off topic for your friend. It was,
do you think you could win?
I do, yeah. I'm pretty confident.
I'm pretty confident.
I don't think we'd last more than 17 seconds. We'd be like, what do we do now? I don't know.
I know, especially like I'm literally in my mind thinking like we would fall on the cement while we were playing that. Do you remember? Like we were like,
of course.
No, I would not. There's no part of me that wants to fall on cement anymore.
I'd go, just 1 second. Let me just lay down. Okay, and I'm just going to
can I just
put my
pretend
shoulder down here and just roll into it. No, we were like, that was full contact sport, if I'm not mistaken.
I was full on, like even like as of like 38, 39 years old, flying myself around, doing my own stunts on another life. I don't think I would do that anymore.
No, I know I wouldn't.
It's different. Like my back hurts now.
Exactly. Knees hurt. Biceps detach. I don't think I can do that.
Something different now. How come Stuart wants to know why you changed your name from Edward to Michael?
Good call. Good question, Stuart. If that's your real name. I was, that's so funny. So I was Edward Trucco, Eddie Trucco, for the beginning of my career. If you want to call it that. I was a wannabe actor trying to make it this business.
But there's a couple, like, you did a couple jobs with Edward,
I did a couple jobs with, I think they used Edward. I've never responded to Edward. I'm not an Edward. I can't, Edward is not me. My dad is Ed. My grandfather was Ed. I'm the third. For a little bit of trivia there. I was Eddie growing up. And I did this show, I did a novella in Mexico that was produced in English. And upon completion of that novella, I was back in LA, and a manager of one of the other girls on the show had seen and she's like, "Who's that guy? I want to meet him." So she meets me, and this was an old school manager, and I mean old school, like vestiges of like the 1950s and 60s.
She's like a cigarette hanging out of her mouth.
Exactly, and the big long nails, and she had a big wig, and she had this really, incredible industry name, and she was all about old Hollywood, and in those days, Archibald Leach became Cary Grant. Because Archie Leach was not the name of a movie star. Cary Grant was the name of a movie star. And she met me, and she's like, Eddie Trucco. Eddie Trucco. That's a terrible name. And I was like, well, nice to meet you too. It's like, I don't disagree with you. She goes, Eddie Trucco sounds like a Joe Pesci character. So I was like, yeah.
It does.
Goes,
I think you would have been typecast as like just like mobsters your entire
It's a character. It's a character name. It's a very Italian character name. And she's like, you're not that. You're a leading man. She goes, you're going to play leading man roles. You need a leading man name like David or Michael. And I swear to God, she said those, she just threw out an example of names like David, Michael. And I went, well, that's funny because Michael's my middle name. And she's like, well, then what? She goes, it's a no-brainer. It's going to be Michael. And I have to say, I didn't push back. I didn't resist for a second, not for one day. I used to hate going into an audition and writing my name down.
Really?
I would put E. I was like, Edward Trucco. And I hate when they'd call my name.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really superficial, but it speaks to your confidence. It speaks to your character coming into the room.
Yeah.
I had this weird apologetic stance, the disposition about my name. And it wasn't until I read and wrote down Michael Trucco, I was like, there you go.
Yeah.
I just filled it. I don't know. I just felt it and it just spoke to me. And I had not looked back since.
I get that. Like Katee to me always felt like a little girl.
Really?
Yeah, like still. I mean, and I had the choice. I could go with Catherine or I could have been Kate.
Kate Sackhoff, yeah.
I could have been Catherine, but I just did.
But
Katee
it flows nicely.
Always,
Katee Sackhoff flows really well.
It does. But I do sometimes feel like, is she the 15-year-old on set?
That's okay, fair.
The little girl that's like just started out, like, even like when I say like Katie Heigl. Because Katie's Katee as well.
Sure.
Well, she's Katherine Heigl, but like, she, like, I think,
Katee.
The times I've met her as Katee. And like, I just like don't think of her as like a Katee either. Cause like, it's like, the two of us are like, we're in our 40s now. Can you be Katee in your 40s? I don't know.
But you wear Kate well, very, very well as well. Kate really works for you.
Yeah. My family calls me Kate, which is funny.
Yeah, I know. You would think it'd be the other way around. Yeah, because I was raised as Eddie all my life, and that was also my problem. Is that Eddie was my first grade name. Eddie. Hey, little Eddie.
Hey, Eddie.
Eddie. But then somewhere in the early '90s, along comes Eddie Vedder and just made the name fucking cool.
Super cool.
Like Eddie Vedder, I was like, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as Italian at all.
No, but and you don't think of like, Edward Vedder.
I think it's because Vedder is his last name.
Well, Eddie Vedder, it's great alliteration.
Okay,
right.
Here's the last question.
All right.
Everyone wants to know why you're stalking them on social media because, and I was joking about this, but there is a lot of people pretending to be you on social media.
Why?
But you in particular.
Yeah, why me?
I don't know. Do you know?
No, and I think I didn't realize that this warranted an actual, I have to address this.
Like you need to
and I think I need to address it on social. I'm not very active on social media, so perhaps I am an easy target. I'm a victim because I don't engage. And
Are you verified?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But so I think there's a vacuum, and I'm leaving a vacuum for people to fill in. But what boggles my mind is that if you look closely, they often spell Michael, Micheal.
Yeah.
They often spell Trucco with 3 C's.
Yeah.
Or 2 O's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shit like.
I know.
Surely you're not. You see that, right? Or the 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 50 double underscore.
Yes. Yeah.
I see. My inexperience with social media is also maybe my secret weapon is that I can see right through all that stuff. I have such a distant perspective of it. Yeah, I'm like, look, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's clearly a fake account. But I think because people they live so closely into it now that it's hard for them to know. Everybody has. There's so many iterations of different names now that I just look at this and go, you must know that double underscore.
I know.
And the weird picture. So I'm so glad somebody asked that. And I'm going to take this opportunity, and I've said this before, and I will post this again, that under no circumstances, under zero circumstances, do I ever reach out to people randomly.
Yeah.
And I sure as shit don't solicit for money.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for your help. The only thing that could come close to soliciting money is that if I find a charity that I'm passionate about and I advocate for, I will present that and say, love it if you choose to donate and help.
Yeah.
That is completely voluntary. I will never ask for money. I will never reach out. I will never ask for a DM or an IM or give for personal information or say, hey, reach out to me. This is so you and I can connect. It's all bullshit.
I didn't realize how bad it was till the podcast.
Yeah.
So the podcast, this is a gorgeous mug from
it is.
This glorious woman. And I will post the link actually down in the story because her name's escaping me right now. But she had reached out because somebody was reaching out, trying to book people on my show. This is not stopped. They continue to do this. And what they'll do is they'll hit somebody up that is genuinely someone that I personally would be interested in, but that they're not someone I've worked with before. And they will ask them for access to, like, we just want to we want to screen share. We want to learn this stuff. So people will reach out and they'll go down this because they've got legitimate businesses, 100, 200,000 followers, or they'll be a musician or something like that, where like it would make sense potentially if I was looking for people, maybe someone representing me would reach out. And I have to say all the time, I only have people on this show that are in the entertainment industry that I've worked with or know somebody that's worked with, or it's legitimately my booking company. My manager's not reaching out. No one's reaching out. And when in doubt, just DM me, ask me. Which some people do. Some people do say, hey, I got this thing. Were you asking me? And one of the hardest things to say is, that wasn't me. I'm so sorry. Like,
And that ruins it for you, though. Then that can break that, burn that bridge.
Yeah.
If somebody has a bad experience.
It hurts somebody as well. Like, I don't want somebody to go through that. But it sucks. It's there's so many scams out there. So
I know.
Everyone just needs
apologize to everyone. And that's the other thing I want to reiterate. I only have one form of media, social media that I work on or look at, and that's Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I never had a Facebook, and I know Facebook is a thing. I've never had one. I've had several fake accounts, but I have never established one in my name. I never will. I don't have TikTok. That's not my jam. I'm sort of aged out of TikTok. And Instagram is the only tool that I feel that I can use, and it is the Michael Trucco. It is the only one. It's the blue check. There is no other iteration. There is no other version. I apologize to everyone out there, and I love how vigilant everybody's been, and I appreciate that, and keep calling it out. But you're right. It became systemic after a while because it was like, okay, come on. A few people every so often would say, hey, this person reached out. Lately, in the last 2 or 3 months, every day somebody's like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Somebody's posing as you. And I don't know why. I don't know. I don't think I'm that interesting. So I don't like,
It's just to get money.
I guess so.
Yeah, money and access to their screen. Because as soon as they have access to their screen or something.
Is that what it is?
It's
horrible.
Anyway. All right. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate you.
Oh my God. I love doing these.
I know, it's fun. I'm doing a Battlestar Galactica watch because I've never seen it.
Good for you.
Robin and I are going to do it because he's never seen it. Well, he was 5.
Okay, God.
I mean, he wasn't 5. He was 11.
Close enough. But still, he was a little, you're right. So maybe it's time. He's all grown up and he can watch now.
Yeah, he's old enough. He can handle the subject matter.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I actually need to watch it, too, because there are things that I've completely forgotten.
Well, I'll have you on. Maybe I'll have you on as a guest when your episode shows up.
The last time I did it was with Trisha. She wanted to watch it until we watched an episode that I was like, oh, my God, I've forgotten about so much of this.
Yeah.
So I would love to rewatch that with you. But I just love hanging out with you and spending time with you and doing this. And I could talk to you all day. And I love that we are working on something together, even though we're not working on something. And we're potentially
even though we're not, and then potentially working on stuff, and then sort of working on stuff, and fucking hustling together. And
we do. We got irons in the fire, you and me. So
we do. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit.
I know.
Thank you guys for sticking around for that entire interview. If you found that fun and you want to stick around for the hindsight, that's where we talk about the guest and what's going on in our lives. My friend Jeff Porter, who's also my producer, and I do that over at Patreon. That is patreon.com/The Sackhoff Show. As always, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We will see you next Tuesday. And that's what's up.